As the leaves begin to paint the world in warm hues and a crisp breeze fills the air, it could only mean one thing: autumn has arrived. So grab your coziest blanket and a warm mug of your favorite beverage while we dive into this brand new Minecraft world that is certainly cozy and maybe a little bit spooky. But first things first. Well, it's certainly humble beginnings, but I would say we've got a pretty good little start going now. So we've got our wheat growing, we've got our chickens, and we've got our sheep as well. Everybody is looking good. Oh, look at you. I did dye them already as well. So I have some plans for our first home, and it involves some fun colors. So I figured we might as well start right away with these sheep. I think it's going to be super fun. So now that we have everything good and set up, I think it is time to do a little bit of mining, get our supplies good and, solid enough to make our first house. And I know exactly where we can start that. Now, this isn't a very big cave, but honestly, I think that's kind of a good thing. I don't actually want a big open cave. I would like to just go down and do a little bit of strip mining to try to find some iron and collect lots of stone and all of that. But I do think this is a nice natural terrain that'll give us a good facade for building a cute little mine entrance at some point. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to dig around in here. Well, I would say we did pretty darn good there. Now, while those are smelting, let's clean up this area a little bit more. Well, it's looking like a beautiful day for an adventure. Last thing that we need to do before we can really start building the house is find a couple more wood types. So I'm gonna go on a little bit of a journey now. Oh, and look at that. It looks like we have a jungle not too far away. Don't really need that right now, but definitely might come in handy. Oh yes, this looks exactly like what we're looking for. Oh no. Ooh. Well, that was terrifying. Maybe we'll take land for a little while. Don't mind if I do. Aha, here's the other one we're missing. All right, we made it back to the base just in time for night. Not quite done yet, but we ran out of inventory space, so I figured we'd run back before we go to find the last biome that we are going to need. Or, well, need is a strong word. The last biome that I want to collect some stuff from before we build this house. Hey, look at that! We stumble upon a village. Wow, this place actually looks pretty big. Well, we might just have to come back here one day. Oh, look at this place. This must come from one of the mods that I put in. I'm not even 100% sure which one. But it looks like they've got corn growing here. Can I replant it? We can. Corn kernels? Oh, that's so cool. I also love this scarecrow design. Maybe we're going to have to remember it and put it in our own garden. What else do we have in here? Oh. Is that like a skeleton horse? Oh, that is so cool. Okay, very Halloween-y. I love this. We've got a cauldron. All right, anything up here? Oh, an empty chest. I wonder if there was supposed to be some loot in here and it just didn't spawn for me or what, but that is pretty cool. Might have to come back for you one day. Just need either a lead or a saddle. Well, this looks like a very buried old pirate ship. Let's see if we can find anything in here. And there's our first treasure. And the second treasure. Oh, and there is our last one. Now, why don't we see if we can also find this buried treasure? Oh, I don't think I've ever seen one out in the middle of the ocean before. Well, we'll give it a shot anyway. I don't know if we'll be able to find this one. Oh, look at that. We got lucky. Look at that. We're already starting to get a little bit richer. All right, I see our final target. And two very last things that I want to get wrapped up before we start building is getting some cows penned up. I'll just put them right beside the sheep there, and getting our sugarcane planted. And of course, we can't forget to set ourselves up a little tree farm. All right, so I think we are about ready to start building our cozy little cottage. It's not going to be anything too big, so we don't need too much space for it, but I am thinking that I want it somewhere over in this area here where the bamboo is. I like this backdrop. I think the hills look really nice in the back, and I like the idea of having our like farming and barns and such kind of behind the house. I think it makes more sense. You got the house and then you have kind of all of your fun backyard stuff afterwards. So I think it's going to be facing this direction. So when we're looking at it from this way, we'll be looking at the front of the house. And yeah, I think it's going to be a super fun, cute little build. So I'm going to go ahead first and do a little bit of terraforming. I got to flatten this place out a little bit. Doesn't look like it's going to be too hard to do. We'll obviously have to get rid of the bamboo. And then I think this stuff in the back here, we just won't worry about it right now. We won't build the house any further back than this, so I think it's going to be perfect. All right, we have a nice clean space now to work with. I did a little bit of clearing out back here too. We're not really going to do too much building back here today, but I just, wanted to make sure everything was nice and clean. And obviously we got rid of a lot of trees, so we're going to be planting some more back in and like re-landscaping and stuff, so don't worry about that. We're not just clearing the forest, but I wanted a good like view to be able to build everything on. So this here is the outline for our little cottage. So you can see it is going to be quite small, but I've kind of already planned it out, not really in creative mode, but like on paper. And I think everything that I want is going to fit in here. I'm pretty sure that I got everything right. So I think it's going to be super fun. And it's going to be just kind of a cute little cottage. We're going to have 2 floors on half of it. Bedroom upstairs, and really we're going to just kind of make this a little bit witchy. It's going to be, we're going to focus on having our enchanting in here, maybe a little potion making station, and, maybe we'll be adding in a cauldron in our little cooking area and all of that fun stuff. We don't really need this house for too much, so I figured we'd just make it small and nice and cozy inside. So yeah, that is basically what that's going to look like. And I guess that's actually technically from the back. This is going to be the front entrance from this way here. So yeah, let's just dive right into the build. And just like that, our exterior is all finished up. I think it looks so good. I've never really built anything like this before, but I think it turned out quite well. So this here is what you would, I guess, consider the front of the house. We're going to probably be going in and out both ways quite a bit, but this would be the front. We've got this cute little pathway. I'm definitely going to extend this out. I'm going to for sure bring it over to our mining cave. That's what this is right here, where we had gone mining earlier. And then I don't know where else. I mean, maybe we'll kind of finish a road going that way or something like that, or maybe we'll just build it to the other builds that we do. But for now, I just figured we'd put a little bit of a path in here through the front yard. We've got this cute little pond over here where I put in those couple of koi fish. I think they look really good. I'll have to look around for some other cute fish, and like maybe if we ever find some axolotls and stuff like that, we can add to this pond. Maybe a little bit of coral would be cute in here too, and more lily pads. I didn't realize I only grabbed 2 from the swamp. We'll need to grab some more of those too, but that can always be a work in progress. Just a bunch of leaves and foliage and such around here. And then we can just kind of continue around the other way. We've got our little sunflower area over here because this is the way they face. So I figured it would be cutest if they were facing away from the house like that. I think it looks, I mean, it's fine. It's just a side view. And then the back over here. So this is going to lead into our backyard. I am going to, we'll probably have to do a whole episode on this because it's going to be a lot of work to do the barns and the gardens and everything. But this garden will definitely be moved back a bit, or like maybe we'll do a mini one here and then a bigger farm somewhere else or something like that. I'm not 100% sure yet what that's going to look like, but this isn't going to be here as it is right now. I kind of had to work around it a little bit, but yeah, that is what that looks like. A little bit different, but honestly a lot of the same sort of motifs as the front. Oops. And then just around the other side here, we have that chimney for our fireplace. And I don't know for sure if it's going to make sense to do any windows here. I was actually thinking about maybe doing vines, but I know it's kind of hard to do vines because they just grow like crazy. I've heard that people use strings to stop them from growing, but I do think you can kind of see the strings when you put them in there. So I'm not really sure what the best bet is going to be for this wall. Maybe once we start to do the inside, we'll figure like a window will be perfect here or something, and we can just decorate that up. But for now, we'll leave it. We don't really need anything too spectacular on this wall. I mean, maybe we could even just leaf it up, make it look kind of like some kind of leaf growing bush vine thing. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that is the whole exterior of the house. So obviously the next thing we're going to need to do is the interior. We've got a lot of touches to do. I don't know for sure if I want to keep the roof colors in here. It's going to be a little tricky to cover up, but not impossible. I could even do like spruce trapdoors or something like that. We'll obviously need to fill in some of these walls to clean it up, but that's all kind of very boring work if you ask me. And then we'll need to get into decorating. So I'll obviously show you the whole decorating process, but this here is going to be a cute little fireplace. Over here is going to be our little kitchen. And then over here, we're going to do the big bookshelf area with our enchanting table, and then maybe a little desk on this side. I think that's going to be super cute. And then I'm thinking about doing a loft. So I think this is going to be totally maybe walled off. I'm not 100% sure yet what's going to look the best once we get up there, but I think I'm going to do kind of like a pillar, like a support pillar in here, and then I don't remember 1, 2, or 3 in. We'll see what gives us the most room, and then we're going to do a loft right up there where the bedroom is going to be, and that's basically it for our whole little cottage. We'll add in like a few cute little like barrels and stuff for storage, and we'll maybe need to do, although our entryway here, we have this fireplace, so that adds quite a bit to it. Maybe we'll do like a little wall here and do some shelving for the entryway and that kind of thing. I think it's going to be super cute. So yeah, the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about right now is that we don't really have all of the supplies that we need for all the decorations that I want in there, like the bookshelves. We don't really have leather going yet. I'm slowly growing our cows, but we're still not like overpopulated with leather. It takes a lot of leather to make all those bookshelves. Maybe by the end of this, we'll go and get our enchanting table and like go mine for a few diamonds so that we can get the pickaxe and get the obsidian to do the enchanting table. And the brewery stand, I'm not 100% sure. We might actually have to go on an adventure to like hope for another village that maybe has one. So yeah, we might do all of that at the end, but for now, I'm just going to do the basic kind of furnishing on the inside. Maybe we'll just make empty bookshelves or something like that for now, and we can, fill them up later as we come along. So yeah, let's just jump right into that. And the cottage is officially completed. So let's just go ahead and take a little close-up tour right in through the front door. Here we have our little fireplace to the left. I think it just kind of adds a little bit of coziness. It's not really in the best position or anything, but I just figured we needed a little something in here. But right as you walk in, I have the ability to just run right up and go to bed, which is kind of what I wanted. It's a little bit weird, like being placed right there, but I like that I can just run in and sleep when I am desperately trying to get back and before dark. And yeah, this is the bedroom. We've got these cute little plants that I added the vines to make them look like hanging plants. I'm going to be constantly having to get rid of the creeping vines, but it is what it is. Just a couple of potted plants, and then here we have sort of like a closet with a bit of storage. And you can kind of look down here. I did sort of decorate up this wall a little bit as well, just so that it looks a little bit better from this angle. And we'll see how many times I end up falling down this ladder, because I'm not good at using ladders in this game. But anyway, we continue in, and here is the kitchen, just kind of a cute little area. We've got our little cauldron here just to make it look a little bit more witchy. I wonder if one of the texture packs has something that makes this look more like an actual cauldron. I'm not sure. It doesn't really seem like any of the ones I have put in, but maybe I'll try to find one. We've got a couple of photos here. I like the stacked single photos rather than those long ones. The long ones, there's only 2 designs, I think, for one that's this size, and I don't really like either of them. So I think this looks a little bit better. And we've got our smokers and some storage for food and all of that fun stuff. And then as we continue over here, we've got a little brewing stand sort of attached to the kitchen, a little bit on its own. We don't really have like a place. Normally I would do like a little place to our nether wart and all of that, but honestly in this series I'm not even 100% sure that we're going to get to that point. But if we do, I could always like cut out this one and put a little planter here to just have a little bit of nether wart growing, or this one, or whatever really. But we do have some storage up here if we do end up getting some brewing materials. And then here is the view of the rest of it. So most of this is obviously taken up by our enchanting situation. We don't quite have 30 levels yet, but I do want to be enchanting our tools right off the bat, even before we have diamond tools, because I'm really tired of using non-efficient tools. So I'm glad that we have that set up and kind of ready to go. But we have a little lectern here, mostly just for show. I don't even have a book and quill to put on there, but maybe we can get one. If we can find any squids for ink. I have not seen any non-glow squids yet in this game, but that's all right. And yeah, it just kind of looks like a cute little library. And of course we have our cat. I was looking for a black cat. I didn't find one, but I think this guy is just cute enough. It doesn't really matter that much. So if you have any name suggestions, let me know in case we ever do find a name tag. I haven't found one yet, but we might find one. But yeah, that is our little starter base cottage situation. I hope you like it. Let me know if you have any suggestions or anything like that in the comments. The only other thing I was thinking that we might end up adding is a basement for storage. I was thinking it would just be a ladder down, maybe like an entry here, or even right by the door here or something like that. But we'll see if we actually need the extra space once we have storage in like a barn for the crop stuff and all of that. I don't know if we'll really need extra storage space, but we'll see. We, of course, end up collecting so much stuff, you never know. But yeah, if you have any suggestions or questions or anything like that, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Looks like we have quite a beautiful morning here in Minecraft to start our video today. The bees are buzzing, the sun is shining. I think it's going to be absolutely perfect, and I'm so excited for the village transformation today. I've started putting together a little chest here of supplies that I think we're going to need. So it's going to be lots of deep slate, a few fun colors. We got these, this candy corn. This is beetroot. So one of the mods that I have installed that changes beetroot to candy corn. I thought that was so cute. I planted a little bit. We've got a couple extra. I've got a bunch of the corn kernels also from one of the mods, so we can maybe make something like a corn maze. Of course, lots of pumpkins we can turn into jack-o'-lanterns. We're going to be transforming some of the houses, so I'm going to be doing some deep slate for the trims and that sort of thing, so we have lots of it. Figured that would work. Same with stone. We'll kind of use the stone cutter and make some fun shapes out of the stone as well to add to the houses. The main things that we're missing is more wood, so I would like to do more dark wood, but the main wood that I want to use in the village like house remodels is acacia wood, because I love the orange. I think that just kind of goes so well with the theme. So we're going to have to go and gather a bunch of acacia wood, and then, yeah, just some stuff for dyes. And the other main thing that I think we're going to need is string. I want to do some candles and stuff. I would actually love to put some more candles in the house too. We had run out of string. We have lots of honeycomb, but not enough string. And also some cobwebs that we can kind of put up as Halloweeny decorations in the village. And we did get a silk touch hoe from the nether portal, that broken nether portal that we took down in the last episode. So I'm going to take this with me so that if we do find any cobwebs, we can get some actual cobwebs as well as some string from them. So that'll be good. And then I'm going to also grab that horse from the barn that we had found, that skeleton horse. I think that'll be super cute in the village. We'll just put it somewhere in the middle. And I got a couple of leads from the wandering trader. I just put his llamas into boats and stole their leads. So we have a few of those now, so that's perfect. And yeah, I think first things first, I'll go ahead and we have a couple of dark oak trees planted over here, so I'll take those down first. And then the acacia, the savanna's just over that way, so that'll be also very easy to gather. So since we know that there are some warm biomes starting to come this way with the savanna and the jungle, I'm just gonna try to keep heading in this direction and see if we can find a mesa or a badlands. I think some terracotta would go really good with this, same with some red sand. And ideally a mine shaft I think would be the best place for us to gather a bunch of cobwebs and string. So let's just see what we can find. Oh, well, hey, no badlands yet, but a huge desert village. Let's see what we can find in here. This is actually so cool. This village has like such a view of the jungle right there. That's such a neat, how's the jungle on fire? That's, yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Never seen a village like this. All right, nothing too exciting from this village, but I love desert villages because I love to steal flower pots so I don't have to go and collect so much clay. And books, they had a library, so I chopped down the shelves, got some books, a couple of sea pickles, which this actually reminds me, I think hopefully over here we can find a warm ocean. I would love to just gather a whole bunch of sea pickles because they can make the lime green dye directly, and I think that's going to be a really good color for decorating for Halloween. So I think that'll be good, and a couple of emeralds, but nothing too exciting. So I'm going to go, oh, actually, okay. I was just going to say I'm going to go collect this red sand because that's something else that we wanted, but it actually looks like there's that might be a mesa starting right over there. So go ahead, collect the red sand, and then we will see if there's anything exciting over there. Ooh, look at that. We found a desert temple right by this. I haven't really been able to navigate this mine shaft very well. It's either a very small one or it's very hidden in there somewhere, unfortunately. We got a few cobwebs, but definitely not as many as I was quite hoping for. But let's go and see what we can find in here. Oh, I've got some funny mushrooms growing in here. I have a mod on that lets mushrooms grow on like any ground, just because I wanted to be able to put mushrooms on the ground around our house. So apparently they're just spawning anywhere now. Okay, not a terrible haul. A couple of saddles, a bunch of strings, some bones. I think there was one more emerald in there as well. Nothing too exciting, but the saddles are definitely going to be useful because we do not have any of those yet. And we are playing on 1.19 for this one, not 1.20, so there is nothing else to find in here anyway, even if we had the archaeology brush. So I'm just going to wander around here a little bit more, see if we can't find another mine shaft or two, just to at least get all of the cobwebs off of the surface. And then I think that's pretty much all we're really here for, so we can head back after that. Well, did I perhaps get a little bit distracted there? Absolutely. Look at all these cats. One of those villages had like 4 cats in it. And every other one that I came across in a village was just a totally different cat. So look at that. We have, how many? There's like 11 variations of cats, I think, and we already have 8 of them. That's absolutely insane. But look at all these guys. So, I mean, not that I have any name tags, but name suggestions. Now I can use all of your name suggestions. But we did get everything that we were looking for as well. So our chest is all good and full of stuff. We've got all the sea pickles. I made the candles. We got, what is that, 23 or 28 cobwebs? Not a ton, but there really wasn't much more in that mesa, and it wasn't very big. So I think it'll be enough. We're not going for a super spooky vibe anyway. We're going mostly for like autumn theme and like a little Halloween and, you know, just some fun stuff. And yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape. The only thing left that we have is I need to get some iron. We are totally out of iron other than the 7 that I have in my inventory. And I want to be able to do a bunch of lanterns in the town. I want to be able to maybe do some of the iron fencing, like the steel fencing or whatever it's called, and chains to hang lanterns and all of that fun stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead back down into our little mining cave just at the upper levels. Those are the ones I find are best for finding iron. Deep slate is kind of hard to mine through, so more iron up higher, and the cobblestone's way easier to mine through anyway. And yeah, once I have a good supply of iron going, I think it's about time I will take this all over there and we can start on the build. Alright, I ended up getting a good few stacks of iron. Not a ton, but I think this is going to be plenty for what we need for the village at least. And I actually managed to make an anvil as well. So we had a bit more than that, but I managed to make an anvil because I would really like to start enchanting our tools. And the anvil lets us repair them, and that way we're not losing enchantments and all that fun stuff. So I think, yeah, we got tons of lapis. So let's see what we got. We also have a ton of levels from mining and from breeding chickens mostly, my favorite. Oh, Silk Touch. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure what I want to do for now then. Okay, you know what? I don't think we need Silk Touch for anything. I can't think of anything that I'm going to want it for anytime soon. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put efficiency 2 on this one, which is not great, but at least it's a little bit of something, and we can always make another one. Oh, wait, no, I'm an idiot. There's something wrong here. Okay, wait, let me count my bookshelves again. Okay, there we go. Nobody was going to tell me I couldn't put carpets there. Okay, well, now I feel like a bit of an idiot, but that's all right. Okay, so now let's see what we've got on the pickaxe. Efficiency 4. Okay, I'm down for that. That's excellent. And on this one, same thing, efficiency 4. Okay, let's go with that. Let's start with the efficiency 4. I'll start with the axe, just in case we get efficiency 5 on the pickaxe. No, maybe... What's more important? I think the pickaxe. We'll go for the pickaxe. Aw, just efficiency 4. Okay, that's fine. Now what do we have on the axe? Unbreaking. Okay. Unbreaking is also important, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that. Oh, look at this! Unbreaking, efficiency, and fortune on an iron axe. How lovely. I should have done that one on the pickaxe. So I actually do have a grindstone as well. So I'm going to go ahead and disenchant the other pickaxe that we made. Okay, and now we can get Unbreaking 3. I think that's going to be fine for now. Efficiency 4 and Unbreaking 3 on both is great. How lovely would it have been to get Fortune? So I'm just going to get one more level here, and then we should be good to go. All right, just Unbreaking 3. What the luck, eh? All right, efficiency, Unbreaking, for a good old little iron pickaxe, and some good efficiency on our axe as well. That's going to help us quite a bit while we're taking down all of the old houses in the village, so I'm looking forward to that. Well, without any further ado, let's get over there and let's get started on this project. So the first thing that I wanted to do once I got started on this village was essentially reskin all of the houses. I didn't want to do any kind of really intense transformation here. I didn't want to spend too much time. I wanted to kind of keep it looking like an original village a little bit, but they needed to be recolored just to kind of match some cool fall vibes, and maybe a little bit of decorations here and there with the lanterns and the plants and all of that fun stuff. I think it turned out quite good. It still looks almost like an acacia village to me, like when you kind of come up on it from the water. Those colors are sort of very similar, so I think it turned out pretty decently. We did a lot of orange and red and put in some fun window colors. I think there's even a couple of yellow houses that I ended up putting in there as well, which was super fun. A lot of the acacia wood, which I don't build with very often, but I think it does fit this color palette really well. Very Halloween-y, very spooky. I probably wouldn't use it on like much of a realistic build, but I think this kind of fun, sort of Halloween vibe, it works really well for. This last house here is actually the only one that I like full on tried to style a little bit better, and this is the reason that I didn't do any other ones like this, because this one took me ages, and I wanted this to be a very realistic and like easy to do sort of village transformation. And then, of course, we couldn't forget to spruce up the fountain a little bit, or should I say dark oak up the fountain a little bit. Very simple. I kept the same sort of shape, just maybe styled the roof a little bit more, and recolored, and then added some pots around the outside that we can plant some wheat in. And then it was on to redoing the town roads. So I started with a little dock on this side. I didn't actually build anything on that dock. I'm not sure if you have any ideas, let me know. We could always build something there, but I just kind of wanted it to be a cool little entrance. And then the rest of the town, I went ahead and did deep slate bricks for the pathways. Kind of make them look a bit more like roads, a bit more built up, a bit more specific. I was able to do a bunch of terraforming this way as well and make the paths a little bit smoother. So I think it kind of worked out quite well. And of course, we threw in a couple of decorations here and there, a cute little arch with our bells on it so that the villagers have a cute little place to come and, hang out. It basically just brings them here for their nightly town meeting or whatever they do. And then, yeah, I basically just finished off the paths all the way to the outside, and then this is kind of the bulk of the terraforming, just to kind of make everything a little bit smoother. I wanted to keep, for the most part, the general feel of the hills and stuff that were already here. I think it just looks a little bit more natural. And of course, we'll finish off with a dock out the other end. And then I went ahead and made just a tiny little farming area. I realized that we lost a lot of villagers during this process. I don't know if I was just sleeping too late or what, or if they killed themselves on the spiky berry bushes, but we definitely did a few farmer jobs to re-up the population here, so I went ahead and did that. And then did this cute little corn maze just for fun. It actually doesn't really, I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool in here, but it would probably be better to do this too thick if you were gonna do it so that it just looks a little bit denser, but I think it looks kind of cute here anyway. And then our last major build for the village here is the graveyard. So I had to do quite a bit of terraforming here just to kind of, I wanted to keep some of the hills in here, but I wanted to flatten it out enough just to be able to build, decently. I went ahead and walled off the graveyard. We ended up doing a deep slate and iron bar wall. I'll finish that a little bit afterwards. Just a cute little simple gate entrance as well. I didn't want anything too fancy going up in here. It's just kind of a, just this creepy little village graveyard. And I think this kind of fencing makes it look quite good. And then there's just the path through the middle, and I decided to fill in with coarse dirt just so that it was a little bit more dead looking and we don't grow grass and flowers and all of that fun stuff. I think it just makes it look a tiny bit more realistic if it's just dirt. And then I went ahead and tried to build some tombstones. They're not my best creation, but I think in the end, it kind of, once it's all decorated up, and I'm gonna go ahead through here soon and replace a bunch of this with mossy stone as well. So I think it works out in the end. I think I got some good patterns in there, but you know, it's all just for fun. They're quite large, but I guess a person is also quite large technically, so that makes sense. And then this little building in the back is sort of like some kind of mausoleum, or maybe even like a shed to hold like landscaping tools or something like that. It just kind of makes a creepy little focal point at the back of the graveyard here, and I think it works out quite good. So I went ahead and of course put some dead bushes in, a few ferns, and a whole bunch of cobwebs just to make it look nice and creepy. And then I went ahead and lit it up with candles and pumpkins and a couple of lanterns here and there as well, and I think it just kind of gives that perfect spooky vibe. And then really just a few more little bits and bobs to do around the place. I decided to build up some lamp posts that I could just spread around. I wanted to make it fairly simple, so I ended up just doing one with some fences, trapdoor, a single lantern. I usually do these, or I sometimes have done these before with 4 lanterns. I think one is plenty and it takes way less resources. So this kind of design, I end up getting rid of one of those fences and putting in this block. You can see it right here. There we go. That is the final design. And then I basically just smattered these around a few more places, and I think they just add quite a bit. I also made some fun Halloween colored banners just to decorate up the town square a little bit. I think these colors look really good compared to the dark oak of the fountain here, and really even with the houses and everything around. I think it just kind of makes it look a little bit more festive in here, I guess, because we don't really have any other decorations apart from those and the jack-o'-lanterns, which is the next thing we're going to place, with the little sea pickles on top, of course, because adding the little stem I think is just so cute. And then I went ahead around the outside of the village as well, just to light things up a little bit so that hopefully no zombies spawn and kill all my villagers again. And then the actual very last thing that we're going to do here is get our horses, the skeleton horses that we found in the last video. And while I was looking for that barn that we found in the last one, I found this barn, which is not the same one at all. I definitely got lost along the way, but that means that I think we're going to be able to get 2 horses, which is awesome, if we can get this guy there. He insisted on swimming the entire way. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I lost him so many times. I cannot. It was just on the bottom of the very bottom of the lake, way down there. It was absolutely ridiculous. But we did end up eventually finding the other one as well. So I managed to bring them both back, and they're gonna make such cute little accents for our graveyard. I think it kind of ties everything together so good. But without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the random colored lighting in the complementary shaders and turn on the Halloween default pack, resource pack, and let's take a look at what the village looks like. Today we are going to be sprucing up our back garden here. We have quite a lot of work to do. This place is a little bit of a mess, but I'm super excited. We're going to be building a vegetable garden, we're going to be building a pumpkin patch, and a little flower garden for our bees today. So I have a bit of chores to do first thing this morning, and obviously we need to clean this place right up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick and we'll see what it looks like. All right, and our little area for building here today is all cleared out. So let's take a quick little tour before we actually start building anything. So these here are, I mean, it's not super clear, but we've got some pathways here. So this here will be a little pathway that leads over to our vegetable garden area. That is right here. So we're gonna do a tiny little shed right here. I think that's, yeah, it's just gonna house a couple of chests and then maybe a like hopper and compost situation just to, you know, get some auto composting done. But that's what that building's going to be. And then this larger area here is going to be our whole little garden area. So I'm going to do raised planter beds, and I'm going to do 6 of them 3 by 3 so that we can plant one little bed of all of our vegetables and stuff. So we've got corn, wheat, potatoes, beets, carrots, and sugarcane that we're going to do here. And then over here, coming right out of the house, I'm going to do a kind of a cute little archway right into our flower garden. So I decided to use this tree that we already had with the beehive to put in our little flower bee garden. And we'll put a couple of the artificial beehives in here as well. And I think it's going to be super cute, just a small little area where we can have our bees. And then continuing on this direction, this here is going to be our pumpkin patch. So it's a nice big area, and I just think a pumpkin patch is kind of the perfect little fall thing that's gonna go so cute with our house. So those are our 3 main builds for today. All right, so let's start with building this little shed. This one's gonna be pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and use the white terracotta for the walls, and it's just going to be this size here that we have mapped out. We're gonna have an entry door right in the middle there, and then I think I'm gonna do a window on this side, and I guess we might as well do one on this side as well. I'm not really gonna be able to see too much in there, but that's okay. And then we'll go ahead and fill in the walls. Of course, I'll add a spruce door, because I think that one, oops. There we go. I think that one looks the most kind of shed-like to me. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make these walls just one more high. They're not gonna be too tall. This doesn't need to be a huge shed, but we'll just kind of round it out a little bit here. And then for the roof, I'm just going to go ahead and do kind of a typical peaked roof on this one. Just, you know, something simple. Shed doesn't need to be too incredibly elaborate. And I'm going to go ahead and use spruce to fill in the roof here just to give it a little bit of color variation. And then just, of course, a couple little bits here to finish off. I had that gray stained glass left over from something I didn't use it for, and it actually looks okay there, I think. Right, and then let's just frame this door a little bit just to kind of add a little bit to it here. There we go, and then we can hang a lantern right above there for some light. And I think I'm gonna use these rose bushes and just put them on the 2 corners here, so we're not blocking the windows, but we still got a little bit of decor there. And then, I don't know, I've never really done it like this before, but I'm wondering if we can just kind of make it look like there's a little planter around the rose bushes as well, just to add a little bit to it. Yeah, there we go. I think that makes a perfectly acceptable garden shed. Nothing too spectacular, but I think that works out quite well. And then, of course, we will have to just do the inside here real quick, but I'm just gonna go ahead and clean that up a little bit. All right, and there it is, our cramped little storage shed. So we've got 3 chests here. We've got room for a couple of more, and I mean, worst case, we could even start putting some along this wall, but I don't know if we're gonna need that much storage anyway, so I think it should be okay. We actually could, I guess we could move that over and do 2 side by side here as well, but we'll deal with that if we need to later. So we've got our automatic bone meal maker here. I haven't put a ton of seeds in there yet because we don't really have an abundance of seeds yet, but this way we can just put the seeds in there, get it turned into bone meal, no problem. And then, you know, nice and organized, we've got crop stuff, we've got animal stuff, and we've got tree and flower stuff in that one. So I'm gonna, one of these days I will make some item frames and do some labeling, but we haven't really done a big harvest of the cows recently, so I don't really have any of that. But yeah, there is our little garden shed. So next up is going to be our actual little vegetable garden here. So I'm gonna be using raised beds like I mentioned, and I think it'll still be good. So let's go ahead and start at the back here, and I'll give it maybe a 2 wide path around each side, and then they're just gonna be tiny little beds like that. Not a ton of crops, but honestly, we don't need an overabundance of them anyway. Okay, there we are. We've got our 6 little garden plots, and now that I'm looking at this, I actually don't know if this rose bush is going to go super well right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it, and maybe we will put it back somewhere else, but I think I want to make the entrance like right here, so we got to put some fencing around here. And I want to try to come up with some kind of cute little fence design for over here. Maybe we'll kind of mix up the fences for each little area, but at least for this one here. So I was kind of thinking I wanted to put in some leaves. I don't know if I'll use... No, we might as well start off trying with a bit of every leaf. So we're going to put some orange in there, some yellow, some green, something like that. And then I thought if we used the signs just to kind of wrap up a little bit. Right, if that was kind of went all the way around. I think that's kind of a cute little design. Just adds a bit of color in here, and yeah, I think that's going to work quite well. All right, there we go. I think that looks pretty decent. It's kind of a neat little, I don't know, very different, but I think it looks quite good. And then in the inside here, I didn't bother putting the signs on the inside just because it gets kind of weird in the corners, and I don't know, I think it looks all right in here anyway. But last kind of main thing in here, I want to do the trap doors, and they are just going to line these planters so that they kind of look like they're actual planter boxes. All right, so let's go ahead now and get these all planted. And last, but certainly not least, I think this would look so much better with coarse dirt in here for the pathways instead of the grass. All right, so there it is, our cute little vegetable garden and garden shed. So I cleared this area out a little bit, and we'll worry about the paths and like a little bit of detailing at the end here. So the next thing that I want to do is our little flower garden here. So I want to do a cute little archway entrance, I think. So I'm going to go ahead, and I want it to be kind of on either side of this pathway. So I think we'll start it right here with the garden wall. I did move this back a little bit as well, just to give us a tiny bit more space. For like the pathways here and stuff, but I think that's going to be cute. And then you could do a couple, and then maybe just a small archway. We say we have it start right there. I think that'll be quite nice. And then for the actual structure itself, I think I'm going to keep it quite simple. We'll just go up a few with some spruce fences. I don't know, is too high enough. We'll go up one more just to make it a little bit bigger, and do the same on the back here. Okay, and it actually looks like we're gonna have to move it up a little bit because I don't actually want it hitting the tree, but that's all right. There we go, right there I think will work. And then I was thinking for in between here, we would just do leaves just to make it look a little bit more overgrown. And using the same trick that we did over there, if we put a couple of signs down, it'll just kind of look like it's more part of the structure. course, all of this would look a lot better if I had those bushy leaves, but I could not find one that worked for the version that I was using for all my other mods, so we'll have to wait until the next series to be seeing bushy leaves again, I think. And at top, I'm just going to do the campfires because I think these always look really good for when it comes to like wooden roofs, although I will make those all the same direction. Right, and then I left a couple of slots open here because I wanted to try doing some leaves and making them look like they're sort of hanging down from the top here. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I wonder if there's a better item to use in here than these campfires. Like maybe we can do the campfires on the edges, but maybe there's something else we can do in the middle. Let me try. Okay, yeah, there we go. I think that works a little bit better. It looks more like a lattice. We can actually see the roof and we can see the sky through the ceiling, and we can put some leaves actually on top there as well. I think that works quite good. So for the fencing on this one, I'm thinking maybe we stick with something kind of similar to this theme. So we can go and we'll just stick with the brick for the corners and the spruce fencing. And then I don't know if we really need too much else. We'll see what it looks like once we get that done. All right, there we go. So I decided to go with this brick wall on the bottom and the spruce on the top for the fence, and then I just kind of smattered in a few of these leaves, and I think it matches quite good to the little archway that we did. So in here, I'm gonna just, I don't know, I was thinking maybe we just do a cute little path, like just a small, like not too thick of a path kind of going in here, just with some, you know, path blocks here, and then I don't know, maybe we can do a cute little like sitting bench area over here just in the corner. And I made 3 more beehives, and I think they look super cute when they're placed up on these scaffolding. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 of those in here. And of course we need to add a whole bunch of flowers. So this place is just gonna be absolutely filled up with them. And I think if we use a few of these flowers to breed the bees, they might just move into the new houses. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how this will work. And of course, underneath each of these, I will put a fire pit and a trap door. I think it'll still let me put the scaffolding over top, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. I just put the fire pit down 2 below, and I think that's still gonna be okay. The smoke is still coming out. I guess we might anger some bees when we first try that, but hopefully this will be all right. Right, so I've seen some people do these cute little swinging benches, so I kind of wanted to try that. I think if we start it like right here, like that for the base bit, and then we can put in the arms on the sides here, and the same with the back. Yeah, there we go. It's maybe a little bit high, but I think that looks like a floating bench to me. And then I think if we add the chains in just on the sides here, it'll look okay. And then really all we need is something to attach it to, and I was wondering if it would be worth planting a tree just outside here that might grow over, and then we can just, you know, build onto it as we might need to. Okay, there we go. I did build an acacia tree, and then I chopped it down, and then I just kind of built this one custom. Custom trees are not my strong suit, but I think I just basically built this one just to house the swing, and I think it looks okay. I mean, yeah, I think it'll work. So yeah, that is that. We don't have that mod that lets it sit, but we can at least see what it looks like when we stand in our tree. There we go. Look at that. All right, I think this is a cute little flower garden. Ooh, and our bees here are done. So let's see if this fire is still working. Oh, nope, it is not. All right. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to think of a different solution for that then. Okay, there we go. I think this is going to be the final design here. So I found this one when I googled it to see what people do for the scaffolding like look, and this seemed to kind of be it. So we had to do one solid one in the middle on the ground, but I think that's okay because we can just store our honeycomb in here, and I think that'll be good. And then I ended up just bringing them all together to one little area here, but I think that works perfectly fine. Just filled more of this in with flowers and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, there is phase 2 completed, our little flower garden / bee farm. And next up is our pumpkin patch. So I've kind of already started the area off a little bit here just to sort of map it out a bit. This is sort of, I mean, this is all tilled. I don't think this is all gonna be tilled. I want to sort of make a pathway maybe that kind of goes all the way diagonally to the other end of the pumpkin patch from the entrance here. So I'll have to untill some of this area, but I just wanted to get an idea of where we could plant if we wanted to, and I think this works out quite well. And then the fence, I think I'm just gonna go with, I don't know, I guess both of these are too high fences. So I wonder if it's gonna look strange not to have a too high fence over here as well. But I don't really have another idea for what we could do here. So I think I'm just gonna stick with the lower fence for now. We'll see what it looks like. But I was also thinking maybe I would disperse some like cute bushes in here, just to make it look, you know, a little bit overgrown and broken. There, I think that looks all right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and sort of, I don't know, map out maybe a pathway here. Okay, now that I was looking at this, I didn't like how light this coarse dirt was next to the like wet soil. So I actually think this is podzol. We have a bunch over there from when I accidentally planted a giant spruce tree. I think I just spawned. So I'm gonna go and grab a whole bunch of this. We have this Silk Touch Golden Hoe. I don't know if it's gonna be good enough to get all of it, but I'll see what I can do. Maybe, I don't know, there is also rooted dirt. I can't think of any other like dirt block that's dark other than like straight up mud, but I think maybe that's a little too dark. I don't know, maybe I'll grab a couple of blocks and we might have to mix things up a little bit in here. Okay, yeah, I think the podzol, it definitely looks better than the rooted dirt. I don't really love the look of this in here, and I think we're gonna make like a proper pig enclosure next time, so I actually think this, or the rooted mud, sorry, this is rooted mud. Or muddy roots, I guess. I think those are going to go really well in our pigsty that we make next episode, so I'm going to save those. And I think I'm just going to fill this all up with podzol, and I just have to get another Silk Touch item. I'll go check the enchanting table after I use these all up. Okay, yeah, we actually can get Silk Touch on a shovel, so I think that should work. I don't think that'll be a problem. That's basically exactly what we need. So we just need a few more levels, but I will go ahead and go over to our my favorite XP farm and see if we can get up a few levels. Okay, there we go. I think that looks really good. I think it just kind of makes it a little bit different than all the other areas, and yeah, I think this is going to look good. And we can actually add our mushrooms over here as well. I had a few growing over there, but I figure why not just throw them in here instead and kind of out and around the outside as well, and they should, you know, grow a little bit here too. And now I'll go ahead and fill this place up with our pumpkins. And I just added a quick little archway at the entrance there, and our pumpkin patch is complete. I think it's going to look really good once all those pumpkins grow in, but it'll take a little bit of time for that. So really, the bulk of our building today is done. We got all 3 gardens, we got our garden shed. I think this is looking really quite nice in here, actually. But of course, it looks like we need some filler details, and obviously we need to finish the pathway. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that, and we can take a look at what it looks like when it's all done. And there we have it. The first part of our backyard is all done. We're gonna have to do the animals still, but our gardens, everything all complete. I think this is looking so good. So let's do a quick little walkthrough tour and then we'll do a flyover tour. As we come over this way, I've got this cute little bench next to a tree. We'll have to kind of spruce up like what it looks like in the background of this bench and stuff a little later. Once we have like a proper storage room so I can move those chests. That is something that we will be doing at some point, but for now I think it's just kind of a cute little touch there. And then we've got, of course, our storage room. I will close that door. Very fun. We can walk in to our vegetables and they're just starting to grow in here. I've harvested them a couple times now, but I think these Bountiful Crops, I think, is the add-on for these like fat, chubby vegetables. I think they're so cute. They look so good. And then we can go back out and head into our flower garden. I put this little flower like stand up here. I might mix up the flowers that are in here a little bit. It's currently all the same, like 3 flowers, but I think that's kind of cute. Just a little like place to, I don't know, you could imagine they're like seedlings or something like that you have to have in pots. Just kind of living right there. And then we can walk in and ooh, look at that. All of our beehives are all full. I have this also, you've probably noticed, the tiny bee mod as well. But I don't know, I guess all bees kind of got stuck places. These guys seem to be getting stuck in a lot of areas. I'm not 100% sure if it's the mod or if it's just the behavior of bees, but they seem to be getting stuck a lot and they just kind of don't move for quite a while. So I don't know, but obviously we have enough to fill up all of these, so it's not that big of a deal. But look at them all. They're so cute. I love the bees. Absolutely love it. And I think they look so much better tiny as well. It makes so much more sense. But we can go and, of course, take another look at our swinging bench. I think that's so cute in there as well. And then let's head out and into our pumpkin patch. So we put a nice tree up here just to fill it in a little bit more. And I started continuing the path this way. All of the animal stuff for in the next episode is going to be back in that back area. So that's where that path is going to end up going. But right now it doesn't really go anywhere. And yeah, our pumpkin patch is really starting to fill out now. Most of the vines have grown. And a lot of them have pumpkins on them now, which I think looks really good. And yeah, I think this was quite a success. Today, we are going to be expanding on all of this fun backyard stuff that we built in the next episode, and we are going to be making homes for all of our animals, plus a couple that we don't have yet. So we're going to be doing a pigsty, a chicken coop, stables for the horses, which we don't have yet, but for some horses that we're gonna have to get, a pen for the cows, a pen for the sheep. Is gonna be super fun, and we have a lot of work to do, I think. We're gonna be basically expanding what we have already built all the way out to, I mean, really, who knows where. It's gonna be quite large, I think, this yard in the end, but I'm super excited about it. So first things first, of course, we've got our chores to do and a bit of gathering to do because we're going to be using mostly wood today. So I'm going to start off with that. All right, so I think we are about ready to start building already. Pretty quick today, but I mean, really, we have so many resources. Everything's cleared out and everything, so I think we're pretty good to go. So we've got right in the middle here is going to be our horse stable. I think it's going to be quite cute. It's I currently have it a little bit off. Clearly. But I think everything's going to be moved back a little bit. So that one's going to be moved back to this line, to that line. So we've got a nice little rectangular stable right here behind the bee garden. And then over here is going to be our cow pen. The cows are already here, so I figured over in this area is going to be easiest for that. Up here, we're going to have our chicken coop. I'm not 100% sure yet if I'm going to have to do a little bit of terraforming to get the building to make sense up here. But I think I might be able to get away with just like putting the building up on top here and then down here being just places the chickens can run around. We'll have to see how that turns out. And then this is the horse stable again, so there's going to be a little pathway right in here, and then over here is another stable or another pen, and over here is another pen. These are all the same size, so one of those is going to be pigs, one of those is going to be sheep. So yeah, nothing too exciting, but yeah, this is going to be super fun. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the horse stable here. So I think it's going to be mostly, I mean, it's going to be covered. I want to do a covered horse stable. But thinking, actually, wait, let's put some spruce in the corners here. And then I think we have room to do 3 little stables here, or 3 little entrances at least anyway. I think they'll all be connected together. Yeah, there we go. I think something like that works for the front. Oh no. All right, we got some visitors. At least we spotted them this time before they start shooting. All right, there we are. I like how I think 2 of them killed each other there. That's always helpful. Anyway, so here is our little front area, and I'm thinking that I want to do this sort of like lattice roof on here just for the first little bit, and then we'll do a more structured building in the back, and I think that's gonna look really good. All right, and there is our stable. Pretty basic, but I think it looks quite nice. Now let's go and see if we can find some horses for it. Now I know that there is a plains over this way, so I'm going to try that first. Yes, it looks like we have a few options over here, so I wouldn't mind. I don't even know if we have room for all the horse variants. There's a lot, I think. I'm not even sure how many horse variants there are, but I am going to get a few different ones at least, and yeah, we'll see what's over here, but we might have to also check out somewhere else. All right, so we've got a brown one with spots, a brown one. What is over here? Oh, and another brown one. Okay, well actually, those 2 are slightly different, right? Because of their boots. This one has like tall white boots, and this one has short boots. And one of them has a spot on their head, right? Do both of them? I don't know. But you know what? We don't need a whole bunch of brown horses. I think maybe we can go off and try to find a couple other ones as well. Alright, so I ended up taking those brown horses back because I realized I forgot my bed anyway, but it looks like right over here in this little savanna we might have a couple more horses. Alright, yeah, look at these guys. So we have a black horse with white stripes. Oh, it looks like they had a couple of babies. That is so cute. Or no, 1 baby. I love that. Alright, well we're going to take for sure these 2 adult horses anyway. And I guess we could take this little baby one as well. He's kind of cute. All right, so I'm going to leave these guys here for a minute, and I'm going to go off and see if I can't find at least another kind of general color. A couple more brown horses, very cute, but we've already got a few of those. Some more black and white ones, but this little guy has the cow spots. I absolutely love that. We have to save him. Also, I cannot believe how many villages there are in this world. This is such a good seed. It is listed in the description if any of you are interested, but like village, there was one right over there, like by the savannah, I think right in that area. Maybe we can't quite see it. And there's one like right on the other side of that hill there as well. So this is just absolutely insane. Not to mention none of those are the village that we made over in episode 2, and that one was also very close to spawn. Oh hey, look at that, there's a donkey. You know what, I don't usually keep donkeys, but I actually think that might not be such a bad idea for this one. Might as well, you know, grab one donkey for our for our pen. Ooh, was there a pure black one like this over there? No, I don't remember, so I think I'm gonna... maybe I'll bring this guy over there and see. If we already have one, then we won't take two, but... Oh, and the pillagers are back? Why are they so all over me today? That's the third run-in with them, and I haven't even been playing for, like, that ridiculously long. Ooh, here we go. White horses. Perfect. I think these are both the same. Oh, and they have a baby. I'm so sorry. Just split up your family. Oh, it's okay. You know what? They were going to split up anyway. You come with me. Okay, well, clearly I did not look up this hill because there's also a whole bunch of white ones up here. But I do also really love these ones with the blonde mane, so I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those. Okay, so it turns out I think this is slightly different. So there are dark brown ones with spots and plain dark brown ones, and black ones with spots and plain black ones. So, and this one isn't black either. These two are both brown. Okay, perfect. So, I think, well, we're out of leads. So I don't know for sure that we need dark brown one with boots and the one with spots and the one with cow print. So I think I'm going to leave this little guy behind for now, or maybe I should just take them all and then we'll go out again, because I want to get, there's gray horses I think too, right? Like more gray colored ones, so we also need to look for those. Oh, we're getting a little bit obsessive here. All right, so everyone made it back, and I do think this looks like enough horses for now. Maybe if we find some other ones, some other cool colored ones along the way, we can always grab them and add them in. I also had to move the hay over a little bit because I just realized they could hop out. Some of them were hopping out, and they still look like they're trying to. Some of them have been hopping up onto these blocks as well, but they don't seem to be able to get up onto there and over the fence, so I'll have to keep an eye on it just in case, but so far it seems to be okay. And yeah, look at them all. I think they filled this place out quite nicely. So next up, while we're doing this area, why don't we go ahead and make the next pen over here? So I'm thinking that maybe we'll do the sheep pen first, and then we'll do the pig pen behind it. Doesn't really make too much of a difference, but since we already have the sheep, we can kind of move them over here first, and we will do that. Now, I do think I'm going to move this back a tiny bit so that the pathway in between the stables and these pens is a little bit bigger, sort of more similar to the size of this pathway. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep in some of these hills as well, just to, I don't know, I'm going to try to work a little bit with the, what would you call it, like topography, instead of landscaping absolutely everything and terraforming it all to be flat. I think I'm going to try to kind of make it work with at least a little bit of hill in the background there. So for these ones, I think I'm going to play around with fences again a little bit, kind of how I did a different sort of wall or fence for these 3 gardens. I want to do something a little bit different for these pens as well, so I'm going to start with the fence on this one. Now I'm going to line it up with that guy there, and then I don't know if that's going to be there. Maybe we'll bring it back 2 more so that the pathway is just a little bit bigger. And now for this pen, I'm thinking the general wall. So if we do a couple like that, I want to bring this orange back in a little bit just because we haven't really been using the like fall colors too much lately, especially this one. It's just kind of all regular wood. So I want to bring that back in. And then if we did, oops, kind of a couple of spruce planks, it looks a little bit more like a wall than a fence, but I think it kind of makes sense for like animal pens. Realistically, they probably could get out if it was, you know, too plain looking, or too small, I guess. And then look like if we stack a couple more, and then I was thinking these would all be stripped. Okay, I don't mind that, although I'm thinking maybe we'll bring the orange back up here instead. Or, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe since the acacia trapdoors look so much like kind of like fencing or like wall, what if we put them in here? There, like that. Okay, that looks like a wall to me. All right, I like it. All right, there we go. Definitely a little bit different, but I think it's kind of cute. I'm just gonna have to make a couple of gates for the front here. And then I do want to give them like a little shelter back here. I don't think it's going to be anything too spectacular, but I think I might as well just kind of build it right into the wall and let it come out just kind of a little way here, maybe along the whole back way. All right, and we've got our sheep up in their new home now. Look at that. So I put in some water over here so it can be sort of like a drinking trough for them. Other than that, it's just a little bit of like flowers and stuff, but I wanted to give them quite a bit of grass, obviously, because sheep need grass. A couple of bushes here and there just to add some color. And I would love to do a couple of stacks of hay up in the corners in the back there, but we don't have a ton of wheat yet. So I'm just kind of waiting for our wheat to grow and we can collect some more. But yeah, look at them. I love how they stick their faces through there. I feel like, I don't know, I guess all mobs are kind of done with trapdoors still, aren't they? But it almost looks like from the outside here, let's go take a look. It almost looks like they're like sticking their heads out for attention or like food or like at a petting zoo or something like that. I think that's kind of cute. So next up, why don't we go ahead and build the cow pen since we already have the cows over here anyway. I don't think it'll be, well, at least we won't have to move them. We can just open them up after we build it. I'll leave them trapped in there while we are building so that they don't get too in the way. But I think this is going to be fairly similar to what we did with the sheep. I'll try to come up with some other kind of fun fence that we can build and maybe a slightly different structure in here as well. Maybe I'll build like an actual little barn or something for them. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to look like yet. I kind of like to just sort of wing it with some of these things. But I will go ahead and speed build through this one for you. And just like that, we have our little cow enclosure. Let's go take a look inside. Nothing too exciting, but I think it's pretty cute. We've got our little kind of hut shelter area for them. Of course, we've got their water here, and other than that, just some grass, some flowers, a couple of lanterns, for some light. I don't know why they all insist on being in that little corner there, but I was wondering if it would make more sense to bring this back a bit, but I don't know. We're kind of just trying to work a bit with the natural land here, and it looks a little silly, but I think it looks, whatever, it works fine. I also went ahead, as you saw there, and finished up these pathways just to kind of make this whole little area come together a little bit more and get a better view. Our oak tree grew. I would love it if some of those giant oak trees would grow once in a while, like the one like over there, where it has, sort of the weirder branches, but oh well. I guess maybe I'll chop this down and try again, but I don't know, I hardly ever see those ones grow, so we might take way too many tries for it to be worth it. But yeah, there is a little path that goes that way, and this is just kind of an exit path. I don't really have any plans to build anything over here, but it's just a way out of the garden or into the yard, whichever that may be. I don't know if I should. I don't think I'm going to do it in this episode because I'm not really convinced on it yet, but let me know if you think I should like wall off or like fence off our whole yard. I'm not really sure if it would be worth it, but I guess it could look kind of cool and it would definitely make it safer in here. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter too much because we're not really out in the dark anyway, but just kind of an idea that I had. I did also fix this, so I changed, I think it looks so much better with the blocks that we had here before, with the wood blocks, but unfortunately they were escaping, and I wasn't 100% sure if it was those or if it was from the hay being on the sides, so I just got rid of both, and now they are a bit better stuck in there, so we don't have to worry so much about it. But yeah, our last two things that we have to do here is right beside our sheep pen here, we're going to do a pen for what are we missing? Pigs. We're gonna do a pigsty over here, which I think is gonna be kind of cute and a little bit unique because I'm gonna make it all full of mud and stuff like that. So I think that'll be quite fun. And then over here, we're gonna do the chicken coop, which is gonna be a bit more of like a building for the chickens to actually like go inside like you would lock up chickens at night. Obviously, we're not going to put them in there. They can wander freely, but just kind of as an idea, just to make it a little bit different than these kind of general shelters we've been doing for the other ones. This one will be more of an actual like little chicken coop kind of style building. So I think I'll go ahead and do the pig one first, just kind of making our way back, and then we will sort of tie it all up in the end with this last little building here. Well, this is going to feel like a very random sidebar, but I just took off to go and get some more mud from the mangrove swamp to finish up the pigsty, and I ran into this. There's 2 acacia trees here, which means that there must be a lush cave underneath, right? So, and I've been looking for one to try to find well, I haven't been looking for one, but I've been wanting to find one for the glowberries. I think they would go really well with kind of everything in our base. And someone had suggested in one of the early videos about putting them like on the side of the house and stuff where we have some blank space. So I think this is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and dig down and hopefully we can find the cave and hopefully it's not too scary. We only have a few torches, but hopefully we can just kind of get in, get some berries and stuff and get out. And also the rooted dirt. I think that's going to go really well, kind of mixed up with where we're putting coarse dirt and that sort of thing. Okay, here we are. We fell right in. This place doesn't seem so bad. All right, how easy would it be if we had a nice bow and arrow right now, but that's okay. Oh my, those creepers really blend in well in this, in all of this moss, but that's okay, we survived, and it actually looks so pretty in here. All right, I'm going to light up a little bit down there just so that they don't bother us while we are gathering some of these glowberries. And then I think I'm mostly just going to take the glowberries and the spore blossom and then some of these drip leaves. And I think that's really all that we need from in here. Well, I didn't think of that. We brought the axolotls back and I was just gonna get a cute little view here of getting them into the pond, but I forgot that they eat fish. So I'm just gonna move these guys for their safety. And I guess this is an axolotl pond now. Now, I know these guys can crawl out, so I think I might need to do a little bit here with like, I don't know if I just need to put the bushes closer to the edge and then maybe a couple of like fence posts just to kind of, you know, block them in there a little bit better, or if they're just going to be able to hop out anyway. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe I will try that to start with and then we'll see if that works. Okay, there we go. I wanted to keep it kind of messy, and it's definitely a bit more full now, but I'm wondering if like these single ones and stuff will be enough to keep them in. I don't know, we will just have to wait and see, I think. Now let's get this pigsty finished up. And look at our adorable little piggies. Get out of the way so I can get in. All right. All right, here is their little pigsty. I just brought two over from the savannah or whatever that is over there, the plains over there. And we made one little baby so far, so we'll have to populate this place up a little bit. But I think they're so cute. I like how we got such like unique skinned ones as well. It's kind of neat. But yeah, this is their little barn situation where they can sleep, they can hang out. It's nice and big. We'll be able to fit lots of pigs in here, which is great. And then around here, I just added some mushrooms and obviously all the mud, some grass. And then I decided to give them some flowers as well because I have read that pigs like to collect things like flowers, like pretty things, and decorate their homes with them, and I think that's so cute. So I decided to add a few of those in here as well. But yeah, other than that, pretty straightforward, I think. Brought a little bit of that mangrove wood back in since we had to go and get the mud anyway. I grabbed a bit more wood from there, and we were able to line the roof with it, which I think just adds a nice little pop of color. And yeah, other than that, it definitely sounds like I'm in a pigsty when I'm walking around down here. The like squelching of that mud is quite the noise, I will say. But yeah, that is what our little pigsty looks like, and I think it's perfect. I did go ahead and scatter around some of the glowberries. I want to add a couple in there as well, but I ran out. But you can see I put a couple on the back here just to sort of make this wall look a little bit less plain. I also added some inside here. Oh good, one already started glowing, so I might have to trim that. I might let it grow like 1 or 2 more down, and then I'll trim them so they stop growing. I also added a little bit here too. Let's take a look here. So I decided to add 2 glowberries on the sides here instead of the lanterns. So I'm kind of hoping we can get it so that they'll grow berries right away. Same with this one. I don't want it to be that long, so I'm just gonna let it keep trying until I can grow a berry right up top. Then we'll trim it and have it stop growing it. And yeah, I moved the lantern over here, so I think it'll still be bright enough in here. I don't know, hopefully with those glowberries it'll be okay. So far we haven't really been spawning anything inside of here, I think. I think it's all kind of lit up enough, but it's kind of hard to tell. I also added a couple you can see there back in the cow pen, but they also look like they are not glowing at the right height. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop that one. Maybe we'll get a glow. I guess these ones are kind of more for just plant decoration. It doesn't really matter if they start glowing or not. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one up here, as I was saying, just so that they can have a little bit more greenery in there. I also added a couple to the house, one on the side there, and then one over here. I'll probably add more over here once we move the chests. That was the original suggestion that I had got that I thought was such a good idea. But this wall is kind of full of chests for now, so we'll have to wait until we make our storage room for that. And then I did just kind of add a couple in here. One here so it'll, grow like a little hanging plant. And then I replaced the one up here that I had with vines and put the glowberry plant instead. So it'll just kind of grow down and look like a hanging plant. But let's get on doing our last task of today, which is the chicken coop. I'm quite excited for this one because I think this coop is going to be super cute. It's going to be more of like, I don't know, what I feel like is a normal build for me. Like it's going to be an actual building. Whereas this one was a pretty plain building. I think this one's going to be a bit cuter, a bit more fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Even though it's going to be quite small, it'll still be good. But of course, we're going to start with fencing this area off all cute, and then we will get to that. And last but not least, our chicken coop. So it's a little bit tight in here, but we'll take a little look anyway. We can see we've got a whole bunch of chickens in here. They are all probably baby chickens still, because I ended up just taking a bunch of eggs and throwing them in here instead of moving the chickens over. So they're all still babies, but we'll see when they grow up. I think this will still work perfectly fine for them. I love them like trying to fly around. It's so cute. But yeah, anyway, so we can kind of see in here. It's not great. Those overhead shots will be probably way better that you saw in the time lapse and stuff. But yeah, this is it. So we've got a cute little like kind of garden-y area here. We've got some bushes on the sides just to sort of fill that out a little bit more. I put some wheat in here as well. It's just going to have to grow by rain. And once it grows, I'm just going to leave it. But it kind of, I don't know, I think it kind of looks maybe like food or whatever for them. So there's a few of those around. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Inside here, I just made it small because only, chickens are small. They just need to hop in there. I think the adult chickens are also only one high. I could be wrong, but I think they will also be able to get in here. And in there, it's literally just that shelving, and then there's a light at the top. It's really not that exciting, but, shelving how chicken coops usually have for them to lay eggs and sleep and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, that is that. Let's take another look from just kind of out here a little bit. You can sort of see the building back there, but it's not super prominent or anything like that. It's just a little chicken coop, so I think it works out quite well. But really, that is everything for today's episode. So I hope you enjoyed it. Our backyard is all done, and I think it looks great. It's quite packed and like a little bit busy, but I don't know, I like that look. I think it works well for this sort of cozy, like tight little area. I've never really built something quite like that before. Usually I space out my builds way more than that. But I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. You can let me know what you think as well. Hopefully you can grab some inspiration from everything that we've done here and all of that fun stuff. Make sure if you are not subscribed that you subscribe and watch out for the next videos because we still got a few more in this. So we are standing in front of the stable that we made in the last episode, and of course we have all of our other animals here as well, so if you missed that one, make sure you go and check it out. But we built pens for the sheep, for our pigs, which is actually one of my favorite ones for sure. The stable, which I also think turned out really nice. We've got our chickens in here, little ones just kind of hopping around. And of course, we can't forget the cows as well. They've got a cute little shelter back there, and they are just kind of chilling, really. The sheep are still being a little bit silly. I don't know, they just keep getting like stuck either on the vine over there, or like they just keep sticking their heads out these trapdoors. So yeah, I mean, that's a thing, but I guess it's not such a big deal. So today we are going to be expanding our area a little bit. Since we are done with the backyard, I think it's time that we sort of wrap up the last couple of like main things that we need for this to be a functional world. And that is a storage area and a smelting area, because so far our storage, you've probably seen it if you've watched our last episodes, but it's just kind of these chests popped up on the wall here, which is not the best situation. And our smelting area, well, actually you haven't even seen this yet. I used to have just a couple of furnaces back here, but I recently put a whole bunch here because I wanted to smelt a bunch of the clay that I got from the Lush Cave. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously a bit of an eyesore. Everything else is so pretty. And then there's just this. So what I want to do today is head over to this area over here where we have our little mine. So I don't mean there's not much here, but this is the little hole that we had started digging down so that whenever I need to go down and get iron or deep slate or anything like that, I could just go right down there, and it worked out quite good. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna make this into kind of I'm gonna do something here to make the entrance a little bit cuter. I don't know that I'm gonna do too much inside of here, apart from maybe cleaning it up a little bit, I guess, and we'll put the smelting area. That's what I'm not 100% sure about yet, is whether or not I want the smelting area in there or if I want it out front here somewhere. So decide on that as well once we get this entrance finished. And then I think I'm gonna do 2-in-1 in this episode. I also want to build the storage area. And I'm thinking, so I don't know exactly where to put it. It's just going to be like another little house almost. It's not going to be nearly as big as this house, but it is going to be kind of like a little cottage looking build. So we can either build it on that side of the house over there where we've got, the shed. We could have it build there. Or we could build it over here, so we'll have like a little pathway that goes off this way to our mine. And then we continue around the lake to maybe the storage building right here, and then, you can continue. I can make the path continue back into the backyard right here. So that's kind of the idea for today anyway. But I don't actually think we need to do too much gathering. We still have a whole bunch of wood and such from last episode. So I think that's going to be plenty to at least start on the mine and smelting area. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go right ahead and jump into that. Alright, so I've got a few supplies here that I think we can use to make somewhat of a cute little mine entrance situation. It's gonna be a little tricky. I never build on diagonals. I find it actually quite difficult, but you know what? We're gonna go out on a little bit of a limb here and try to make this as cute as possible and keep with the natural sort of diagonal situation that we have going on here. It obviously is a little bit weird because it goes like down, 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 and then we enter in, but I think that's okay. I'm going to start the entrance down at this lowest level here and just kind of bring it up maybe a little bit above the ground level. And yeah, we'll see. I think I'll have to add some dirt just to kind of even this out a little bit, or maybe take some away. We'll have to see. But let's just, I don't know. I'll speed this up a little bit for you, and hopefully I can come up with something that's not too bad. All right, there's our little entrance. It's nothing too spectacular or anything like that, but I think it's kind of cute, kind of cozy. I mean, it's just a little bit of a, a little bit better than a hole in the ground anyway. So next I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the inside here. I think I'm just gonna start with a totally flat canvas. I'm gonna bring everything down to, I don't know, maybe even all the way down here. And so we could go in, then down a few more steps maybe. And then I probably will have to expand it out a little bit more in order to have room for all the smelting stuff up here as well. But for now, I'll just flatten it out, and yeah, we will figure out where we need to expand it after that. All right, here is starting to come together. So I went with this color scheme. I figured brick, kind of a trim on the wall, and then mostly wood in here just to keep it nice and warm for our weird little underground underground mine. This is kind of, I mean, this is going to be ugly, but I'm thinking I'll do a cute little like archway kind of entrance here with maybe some fencing all around the sides, or maybe it'll just be like its own little part of the building over here. Like maybe I'll do a big entrance, and we can always expand out the staircase or something like that. And then I'm thinking over on this side, we'll build out the smelting area. So I think we're gonna have to dig quite a ways in there, but that should be fine because this is, yeah, if we have to do a bit of terraforming to like raise up the ground over here, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm thinking we can kind of, yeah, open this up quite a ways, and essentially we'll be able to walk in and then either take this entrance down into the mine or go over to the left here and we'll be able to see the big smelting area over there. So yeah, I guess that is the next step here. I'm going to take down this wall and start expanding it out that way, and we'll see how far we need to go for it to make sense. So I went ahead and cleaned up the pathway as well. So now it leads down to our mine and it leads that way. We'll go over there afterwards, but here it is. So this is what it looks like. Those bushes are finally grown. I think this is, yeah, I mean, same, but it's a cute little entrance, I think. And then we walk down here and I decided to split this into kind of two little areas. Oh, it looks like I'm missing a... I'm missing a brick. I'll grab that in a minute. But I just kind of wanted to let this look like two different little areas here. So over here, we could enter into the mine, the strip mine, or the branch mine, whatever you want to call it. Ideally, I think this would be maybe like full or like 3 wide or something like that, but I don't think we're ever actually going to expand it out like that, to be fair. But yeah, that's what that looks like. And then over here is kind of the main new area. So we've got some of these are already done, but I decided to light these up just to take a look at what it looks like when they're lit, but they're already finishing anyway. But yeah, this is our little smelting area. So I thought I would cover it with this sort of like roof design just for fun. I mean, just a design thing, really. It's not even that practical. I can't quite like reach in here properly, but I think it's just, you know, it looks cool. I think it kind of adds quite a bit to it, and you can kind of imagine that it would be like a chimney that goes up and out in the back or something like that, just to kind of keep the heat in and get the smoke out. And then over here, we have a little bit of storage. So we have some storage for some fuel, some raw ores, some finished ores, and then all the other miscellaneous stuff that we find when we are mining that's not, you know, stone and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think this works out quite good. Cute little area and a little small and all that, but I think this is exactly what I was hoping for. So next up is going to be our storage room. So I went ahead and expanded the path out this way. We'll need to, well, actually, sunflowers look okay. I'll need to clean this up a little bit, add a couple more sunflowers or something here too, or take some away. I'm not sure yet. But looking at this direction, I think what I want to do is just put the storage room right in between. So like halfway in between the mine there and the backyard here. So I definitely need to do a little bit of terraforming. And it actually doesn't need to be that big of a building. We don't need to store like a ridiculous amount of stuff. So I think I'm going to start it like fairly close here, maybe just a couple back from the pathway. And then the only thing is we do have this giant hole here. Oh, wow. Multiple Endermen. That's terrifying. We do have this giant hole here, but which honestly would have been a pretty cool like mine entrance, but we never went down there, which is okay. So I don't want to bring it back too far that we have to mess this up too badly. I think we can kind of fill in maybe up to this line and that would be fine. So, and I want this building to be like long, like wider than it is long anyway. So I think we'll bring it back like a couple, maybe start it and run it like all the way across here and then back maybe just to, I don't know, maybe we could even get away with just bringing it to like here or so and we can kind of fill this part in and make it still go down properly. I think that could work out just fine, but I'm going to go ahead and clear out this area and then we'll get a better idea of what that looks like. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking for the size of the building and placement as well. So I don't think it needs to be too big. This gives us plenty of room to like put a bunch of chests, you know, along the wall, on this wall, and probably even in the center as well. Because if we brought out 2 and then, yeah, what's our middle right here? 2, we would have a 1 walkway. I don't know. Honestly, we don't need that many chests anyway. I think this could work out perfectly fine, just putting some chests on the sides. And maybe the back wall or something like that as well. I think this is going to be good. So I wanted to, for the design of this, I wanted to make it match our house a little bit more. We haven't really used a ton of the mangrove wood in any of our builds in the yard just because it's kind of hard to collect. But I did manage to collect quite a bit, and honestly we have like a decent amount if we're going to be using the planks. Not so much if we wanted to use the logs like we did for the house, but I think the planks also look quite nice and, you know, the color looks pretty good. So I think that's what I'm going to go with, basically as a base. So I think I'm going to keep it fairly simple and just do like mangrove, this kind of plain old wood all the way across. Of course, we'll leave room for a couple of windows. I'm thinking do 1 and then a large window. I think this one will be kind of covered up by chests quite a bit, so I'll go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. And same with the sides here, because I think I'm going to actually line up all the chests along the back wall there. I think that's going to be plenty of storage all on its own, so we can put some windows in on the sides here as well. And in the back here, we'll just have to come up with something a bit more creative to decorate the wall back here so it doesn't look so plain. All right, there we go. Let's take a look at what we have so far. Pretty basic, but I think this is going to be a good shape. Essentially, I want to do like the front peak, I think, but I'm not going to make it a super steep peak. It'll be sort of like a gradual, a bit more of a gradual roof situation. So yeah, I think that's going to work out quite well. For the roof, I'm thinking I'm going to line it in dark oak just to give it that same sort of feel that this one has. And then I will fill in with spruce to kind of bring in a bit of a different color there. Okay, yeah, that is pretty much what I was imagining. Obviously, we still need quite a bit of detailing to do. So I was thinking, right off the bat, maybe we need something different in the corners here. So I'm going to try the spruce logs and see what that looks like. see. Okay, yeah, no, I think that looks way better. I'm gonna go ahead and do that on all the corners. All right, and then for the windows, I was thinking maybe I'll do, I don't know, what do I want to do for the windows? I kind of want to do the fencing for the windows again. But I don't know if that really, I don't know, that doesn't really bring it together like I'm hoping. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put the glass in these lower windows at least, and then maybe we'll do a couple windows or a window up top here. And we'll use the fencing. Or we could actually use it, I think, fine on the interior windows since they're quite a bit smaller. All right, there we go. I think that works quite well. And then, of course, we need a door here. I think the spruce door works quite well here. And then I want to do one of those like fireplace overhangs again, like we did a bunch here all over the place. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it should just be like right above the door or if we should give it a space above the door. Maybe one space, and then we can always put like a lantern or something there. Okay, there we go. I also switched those out for spruce because I think that just matches the fireplaces a little bit better. And then underneath the windows here, we could do those planters again, but I was actually thinking, what if we did like little shelves and then we can put some potted plants under there. And we can still do some shutters on the sides. And I do think we have room for one little window up here. And now just a couple of final details for the front here. Okay, there we go. That looks like a building to me. I think that's perfect. So next up, I do want to do a little something on the side here. We'll probably end up planting like a tree here and filling this in a little bit, but I think it's worth doing at least a little something here. And I'm thinking maybe we just go back to our roots and do one of those regular old planters just all the way across here. And we'll do the same thing on the other side as well. All right, so there it is. The exterior is complete. So let's go ahead inside and figure out what we're gonna do in here. So I did fill in the floors with some dark oak. I think that looks all right. And then, yeah, I think for the chests here, what I wanna do is I wanna put them sideways for sure. So kind of like this. And then I was also thinking that we're probably gonna want something a little bit decorative in here, so maybe we could do some pillars. Sort of, I don't know, they sort of look like they could be supportive, but I wouldn't really call them supportive pillars. There we go, I think that breaks it up all right. And then I think I would just fill this basically in with chests all the way up. I don't know if we're gonna need that many chests, to be honest, but you know what? We might as well just fill it up and make it look good. There we go, all filled up. And then I was thinking up here we could add a few shelves and just add some decorative bits. There we go, I think that looks all right. And then I want to do something similar over here, but I'm thinking just a little, maybe a little shelf that kind of goes down under the window. Actually, well, you know what, now that I'm looking at it, maybe we could do 2 more pillars right beside the window and then put some shelves here and just put some, I don't know, something kind of decorative, sort of like we did on the other side there. All right, there are the 2 shelves. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fill in this roof a little bit. There's these parts that are not quite right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just fill those in. And then I've got a couple more glowberries, so thinking we could just hang them right here as sort of hanging plants. They'll come down and we'll trim them at some point when it makes sense. And then, yeah, really all that's left is to label all of these chests. Okay, there we go. Every chest has a glow item frame on now, which I think looks pretty decent. So over here, I think I'm gonna start with, what do we wanna do? So I'm thinking maybe we'll start with wood over here, and I'm wondering if it would make sense to sort by like wood type rather than by what I would normally do, which is like logs and then not logs and then things made out of wood, if that makes sense. But I'm wondering, because we have 6 wood types, so what if we just did like everything oak and everything made out of oak, birch and things made out of birch, and then the same with spruce, dark oak, acacia, and mangrove. And then, yeah, I think that might work quite well. That way when we're building and we know what we want to build out of, we can sort of you know, actually with the light, these look so similar. I might replace these with the planks actually, because they look way too light. There we go. That's more of a difference there. Okay, there we go. I think that looks a little clearer. If you look at all of them, you can tell what they are. Dark oak, spruce, birch, acacia, mangrove, oak. I would say it doesn't really, the glowing does throw it off a little bit, but that's okay. And then obviously we need some room for straight up cobblestone and straight up dirt. So I'm thinking maybe could do just here and here, cobble dirt, and then have kind of all your basic stuff done. And then over here we can go into some other stuff. So what if we did dirt, 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 and then 3 for cobblestone. And then over here, I think we only need 3 kind of random chests. So we need something for monster drops and like animal or like creature drops, something for equipment, and then something for like the really miscellaneous stuff. So we have quite a bit more here to sort of organize things a little bit. So I think I want one for sure that's going to hold like at least mud, if not like mud and podzol and like all those dirt adjacent things. And then I'm thinking maybe we can separate we can separate diorite, gravel, and diorite, granite, that's what I'm looking for, and andesite, which I don't think I have one on me right now. And then, yeah, so that basically means that over here, maybe we can do mud separate, we can do podzol separate, and then we can do coarse dirt and rooted dirt together. Okay, so there's andesite, and then I think I want something like sand, but I think sand and gravel can go together. I think that makes sense to me. And then I would like one for like terracotta and things of that nature. Okay, I'm actually going to make one more adjustment here as well. I'm going to do podzol and all the dirt effects together, because it's not like we have a ton of that anyway. And then, so we've got sand and gravel, terracotta, and the like. And then I want to do, maybe I'll put one over here that's going to be like other stone stuff. So mossy stone, cut stone, all of that sort of thing, as well as deep slate. And then over here, I'm going to do one that is basically anything else that has to do with like stone sort of stuff. So we'll do basalt, stuff like dripstone. I'll put all of our bricks in here as well, calcite, basically everything else we get from mining. And then we've got equipment. I'm just going to throw that crossbow up there because I don't think we're ever going to use that. And monster drops or other random creature drops. And then we have all of the miscellaneous things that we have picked up on the way. And I think what would be I think maybe just this treat basket might be a good item for that. Basically just, I don't know, all sorts of random stuff that it doesn't in my mind at least go with anything else. Okay, and now that our storage is all done, that clears up this wall. So I'm just going to go ahead and do, I don't know, I guess we could do a few vines here, but we only have one more right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and put one there for now. And then I think I'll fill this wall kind of in with some different heights of those vines as they grow. But we need a few more berries before we can do that. A lot of these are not spawning berries like I want them to. Though we can get them with bone meal, can't we? Okay, yeah, we actually can. So maybe I just don't need to wait. Okay, there we go. Now we've got a bunch of them to grow. I'll let them grow to some different heights and then trim them up, and they will look good, I think. Also, coming around this side, now that we kind of know that this is all finished up, I'm going to go ahead and plant a couple of trees here just to fill it up a little bit. And of course, we'll add back in a bit more. The Council of Cats here has summoned us today because they need a much better living situation, which is going to be our goal for today. We are going to be building a cute little cat sanctuary for these guys as our sort of final hurrah in this world. This is going to be the last episode. I'm going to have new series start for winter next week, so definitely check that out. It's going to be kind of similar vibes sort of thing, but I'm so excited to I think winter building will be a little bit more of a challenge. It'll be interesting, stuff that I haven't really done before. So I'm so looking forward to that. But I just wanted to have this go out with a really fun build for these little guys. I'm definitely a cat person, so it's going to be super fun. So for the build itself today, I am actually thinking that this area right here is going to be a good place for it. It's going to be fairly large, but not like ridiculously large. I'm going to do a circular build. I think that's going to be really cool. We haven't done one of those in this world yet. And I'm going to go for a very similar sort of color scheme to this building, which means we're going to need a lot more mangrove wood. We're going to need a lot of spruce wood. We're going to need a lot of dark oak, basically everything all over again. And I want to go with these this colorful roof pattern again as well. And I have not been really shearing our sheep, so I think I'm going to have to go ahead and dye some of those. And I'm not sure about our gravel situation for making concrete. I'm going to have to take a look at what we have. I don't really think we have very much of that either. So we've got quite a bit of work here to do before we really get into this. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off as we usually do with a little bit of gathering, and I think it's going to start with chopping down our little tree farm here so that we can have room to plant the mangrove trees. Alright, so I planted the mangrove trees and a couple of them have actually already grown. I'm going to let a few more of them grow first and then just chop them all down at once. We might have to do that a couple times because these do not give us a ton of wood, but you know, it's fine. It'll be worth it in order to make it kind of match our house and such. And then I also went ahead and planted all of our bamboo just to like basically triple it. I don't know that we're going to even need that much, but I think for like cat towers and cool structures inside that the cats can like climb, I want to do some scaffolding. So I figured we might as well get a bit more bamboo. And who knows, maybe I'll even make it kind of like a green space inside and we can plant some bamboo too, because I think it's kind of cute. But next thing that I want to do before actually starting this build is I think I want to go off and go mineshaft hunting again. We've done that once before. Hello, sir. But we didn't really, it wasn't super lucrative. So I think I'm going to go off just further in that direction. I'm pretty sure it was just this way, pretty much directly. And see if I can't just like go spend a bit of time, like probably a good few hours, and try to find as many like mine shafts as I can. I would like to get name tags. I don't know if, I mean, chances of us finding one for, how many do we have now? 3, 6, 7, and then plus one inside, 8 cats. I mean, we might be able to find 8 name tags. At least if we get a few, then if we get a librarian up and running, we don't have to spend so many emeralds getting name tags from them. So that's kind of my general idea. And then I'm also going to need a bunch of string for all of these scaffolding anyway. String is kind of something that we don't have a ton of, and mine shafts are an easy place to find that. Just kill all the spider webs. So that is what I am going to do next. So let's head off on a little adventure. And we are back at home now. So, a fairly fruitful adventure. Managed to find 2 name tags in total out of all those chests. Collected a ton of string. Was still quite fun. But most importantly, we actually got ourselves another cat variant. This one right here with the flat face. I think she is so cute and going to be a great addition. So we now have 9 cats. Yeah, 9 cats, including the one that's currently indoors in our house, but we'll bring that cat out to hang out with the other cats as well. We don't want her to be too lonely. But other than that, I also did go ahead and get the rest of the name tags from the village. I did film that originally, but the audio didn't record for it. So I'll show you I'll explain what we did, what I did to get the name tags here. And honestly, it's kind of boring anyway, so it's probably better that it's sped up a little bit. So essentially, I made the librarian villager and just kind of leveled them up by trading a bunch of paper and books and buying some of the stuff from them. So they would sell the name tags to us. And then I needed a whole bunch more emeralds. So I decided the easiest one to do would be a stonemason, because we did have quite a bit of cobblestone from our mining adventures already. And that was almost enough to actually buy all... What did we need? 7 extra name tags. So I had to make a couple of stonemasons to be able to, sell them back and forth and yada yada. And between that and the paper and like a little bit of farm trading, we managed to get just enough money to buy all of the name tags. So I'll be naming the cats after we set them in at the end of the build. But I am pretty much set up here now to start the build. I've got my little supply chest. Let's take a look at what's in here. So we're going to be using a lot of spruce and some mangrove like we were talking about before, dark oak, and the colorful roof to match the cabin or the cottage as well. And I'm really excited about this one. I think it's going to look really good. It's going to be a circular build. I went ahead and mapped out how big it's going to be here just so I could get an idea of the layout and how much I needed to clear. It's going to be our first circular build in this world, which I think is going to be fun. It's going to be sort of like a tower situation. So 3, I think, like smaller and smaller circles stacked on top of each other so that it's a nice, big, tall indoor space for the cats, because we know that cats love to climb and all that fun stuff. And yeah, I think for the most part, the exterior is going to be I think it's going to be pretty basic as a build. I think the interior is going to be a little bit more fun, but we're obviously going to start with the exterior, and I'll go ahead and put up the base of that, and then we can take a look. Okay, let's take a look around this place a little bit. The exterior is done. The cats are still patiently waiting outside because I want to do the interior first before we move them in there, just to make sure they're not going to be in the way. But yeah, that is what it looks like. I mean, I guess you saw some shots from the time lapse as well, but now that the path is done and we've got some trees in and stuff, that's kind of where it looks like compared to everything else. Whoops. Those berry bushes are always going to get me. I think it looks so good next to the cottage. It's basically, I mean, it's the same look, right? And I actually think I like that kind of cohesiveness here. It looks really good. So I'll just show you around the other sides because I did not film doing these sides, but it all kind of looks quite similar, obviously, to the front, just a little bit. I got a planter on the side there, and then those archways are kind of the same as they are on every other side. Around the back here is basically the same as the front, except it's just a window. I don't think I'm going to need 2 doors for anything, so I figured just 1 door is fine. And then another planter along this side and, those archways as per usual. So let's go and take a look at the interior. I did not do the interior yet, but we can take a look at what it looks like from the inside. And there it is. It is nice and bright in here. I mean, obviously there's the glass on the ceilings or the roof bits and tons of windows. Is this a very structurally sound, makes sense kind of place? Absolutely not. But you know what? This is Minecraft and I think this looks pretty cool as is. And the reason that I wanted such a tall building is I want to build these cats like a great big indoor tree. I want this place to be sort of basically an indoor garden, right? Because cats love being outside with, indoor garden with maybe some kind of sleeping areas and some things to climb on the walls. And yeah, I'm thinking just a great big tree right in the middle that will go up maybe all the way to that 2nd story kind of thing. And I think that's going to look so cool. Again, I've mentioned this before. I've built one other custom tree in this Let's Play, and it was a very small one. It's raining outside. Those cats, poor cats. But yeah, the other custom tree I made was a very small one. This one is going to be a very large one, and I said it then, I'll say it again. Custom tree is not my specialty, but I'm hoping I can get away with something here anyway that's going to look at least half decent. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll have to see what we end up with. But yeah, I don't think any of the actual trees are going to look good enough. I want something that has, some lower branches, and just kind of maybe winds its way up a little bit and has some ledges where we can just place a couple of cats in the tree. As well as a couple on some shelves on the sides and beds in the corners and all of that fun stuff. So the only thing I'm not 100% sure of yet is what I want to do with the floor in here. I'm obviously going to keep grass around the tree base, but maybe we'll make a circular thing that's more like an actual grass garden, and then a few out from the edges here will be a proper floor sort of thing. I don't know yet. We'll have to, I'll get into it and play around with it a bunch, but yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good. So I don't think there's really too much else to touch on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into doing the interior. the cat house, cat castle, meow meow mansion, whatever you want to call it, is complete. Let's take a little tour inside because we have a whole bunch of cats now. So I even made a few extra cats, you'll see as we go around, these cute little kittens. But yeah, this is what it looks like on the inside. We've got our great big tree, which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's probably not the best tree you've ever seen, but I think it works quite well in here. Just kind of adds quite a bit to it. A nice centerpiece and something for the cats to climb on. Clearly, they're all climbing around. We can turn around, run away, and we've got these two new kittens up on the perches here above the door. One over here in the corner. We've got a couple of little toys spread out and about as well, in the form of fish, of course. Got a couple of cat trees over here. Oh, that fish is, I don't know if this actually works. I feel like I tried shearing the glowberries over there and they just grew anyway, but we'll see. Anyway, we've got some more toys, more cats, and we come around this way, more cats, more cat trees, more toys. Yeah, I mean, not too big in here or anything like that, but I think this turned out pretty good. So last but not least, let's get to naming these guys. So we'll just kind of start around here and keep going. So I think that this guy looks like a pretty good Bangles. And I think that she would look great in a nice light gray collar. Next up, we have Topaz with a nice blue collar, of course. Now, this one hiding up here, I think would make a perfect Gumbo. And Gumbo definitely needs a pink collar, magenta to be specific. Coming around this way, next up we have Newt. And I don't know, something about this cat kind of screams Newt to me. And I think Newt would look great in orange. Moving right along, we have Osmosis Jones, and I don't know, I think it's the multicolors. Goes with kind of the crazy name. Osmosis Jones it is. And let's give Osmosis Jones a light blue collar. Coming around this way, we have Salem. And Salem is going to stand out with a yellow collar on the black fur. This little guy up here is going to be Olive, which is actually my cat. Doesn't look exactly right, but the markings are kind of similar. And for Olive, we're going to do a purple collar. And of course, we can't forget our original cat here. This one is going to be, if I can get in there properly, this one is going to be called Kevin. And Kevin is going to get a pink collar. And last but certainly not least, we have Smokey. Smokey is unfortunately a cat that one of our viewers lost not too long ago and just wanted to play a little bit of a tribute. It's probably not a perfect match, but Smokey's got a nice place up right on top of this tree and he already has a red collar, so I think we'll stick with that just to give him the original look. And that is a wrap for this episode and for this season as well. I hope you all enjoyed. I am also going to be very sad to be leaving this beautiful, beautiful world, but the winter one is going to be super fun. If it snows where you are, maybe you can get some nice cozy reprieve in a more virtual snowy world, and if it doesn't in the winter where you are, then you can join me in a very, very Canadian winter in that series that is going to be starting next week, or if you're watching this later, it's probably already started, and I think if you enjoyed this one, you are going to enjoy that one as well. So make sure you don't miss it, and I will talk to you in the next one.